going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's on a great day. I want to first start off by thanking all you guys subscribe to my channel. If it's your first time watching my videos, do me a big favor, hit that subscribe button for me. Alright guys, so today we're going to be working on the suspension on the 4 Lightning. We're going to be addressing the back of the truck because it's got some really bad wheel hop and axle wrap going on since I've dropped the truck.
This is the drag strip right here.
The drag strip, drag strip?
Yeah.
Oh, the wheel hop is so bad. You just gotta kind of
Not even.
burn into it a little bit, like wee.
I need the CalTracs bad.
Oh.
So if your truck and car is doing the same thing that my truck is doing, you're definitely going to want to address that because that's just going to lead to things breaking, and you definitely don't want that happening. So what I went with Calverts Racing and their CalTracs. I was going to go with long bars, but the reason I didn't choose long bars is because I like something like the way they look. And I have side exit exhaust off the side of my bed, and I think with long bars, I may have to change out my muffler system because I think they would hit it. And Calverts Racing, and I mean they're known for really good stuff, and they just work. So that's the reason why I went with them also. But right now I'm going to show you guys how to install these, and hopefully we have no hiccups because I know we need to press out the bushing out the leaf spring eyelet, and I know this can be a pain in the butt. So I'm going to show you hopefully how to install it without any issues. Right now I'm going to show you guys what comes in the box and what's going to be going into the truck. Alright guys, over here on the bench we have all the parts out of the box. This is what you're going to get once you order some CalTracs. You get some brand new U-bolts and hardware. You get these solid bushings. These are the bushings that we're going to have to insert into the eyelet of the leaf spring on the front. So we need to press out the old rubber bushings and the sleeves. So that's going to be fun. These are the new track bars here. This is a nice system. These are nice powder coated. Really nice stuff. Really high quality stuff, guys. So yeah, these are the directional. These are going to be driver and passenger, and I'll show you guys how to put these on. It comes with some grease too. You're going to want to grease the eye outlets here on the sleeve, so that way when you adjust the bars, they turn smoothly. But yeah, these are really nice, guys. Obviously you get some stickers, installation guide. The installation guide is actually really nice. It's nice and color coded and step by step, really nice. But yeah, first thing is we need to go ahead, and I already got the truck jacked up, and we got a jack on this side. We need to jack up the axle here and take the tension off of the springs, and we're gonna remove the wheels and get set up and start taking this apart real quick. Loosening up the front bolt here on the leaf spring. Take off the nut. I'm going to go ahead and remove the back one, take off our top one, and then we'll take off the U-bolts. Time to take off the U-bolts. Spray a little bit of a liquid wrench here to get these nice and lubed up, because I don't think these have been off since they've been installed by a Ford. Alright, so we got both U-bolts out, top plate. All we gotta do now is go ahead and lower the axle and hopefully get the tension off the stock springs here and get these off.
Oh, it's Grandpa's truck, it's in it!
You went over Grandpa's truck? Really? Alright, now we can pull this out of here. we got the leaf spring out, and we need to push or press this bushing out of here. I've seen videos where people like to drill the rubber bushing out, and some people actually burn this or heat this up and burn the bushing out, but that just causes a lot of mess and it stinks up the place. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this ball joint press here. The cool thing about this thing is that you guys can go pick one of these up at the local parts store and put a deposit down and rent the tool for free, and just return it when you're done with it. So you don't have to buy any tools. You can just go rent this if you want to. But like if you have an old truck like mine, it's gonna need ball joints eventually. So it's probably just best to just buy the tool and keep it handy for stuff like this, because this is kind of really handy if you don't have a press or something like that. So we're gonna utilize this to press this old bushing out of here, because we need to put the solid mount in here from the kit, and we need to install this solid mount in there. That's going to take place of that bushing. So I'm going to spray a little bit of penetrating fluid in here to kind of hope get some grease or lube behind this outer ring here, because the bushing's easy to get out, or this little center pin, but the troublemaker is this outer I guess casing the bushing, something that stays inside the leaf spring here. So hopefully it comes out together with the C-clamp, but let me get set up and then we'll press it out. Grab our C-clamp. So we need to press this out. We'll stick this cup on the outside. Make sure the bushing will slide through there. Like this. Put a clamp on like so. It's kind of tricky with one person. Set it up like this. This one might work a little better. Alright, let's try this. Kind of a wider cup. Alright, so once we get this out, that came in handy. We need to go ahead and press in the new solid bushing, which is going to be this right here. So we need to press this back in, and we'll use the C-clamp again, but we need to go ahead and clean up the inside here. Get rid of all this nasty dirt and rust. Make it easier to go in, and we'll just lube it up too. Put some grease in there. I'm going to use some of this wheel bearing grease, because this actually works really good. So we'll lube this up. That way it slides in nice and smooth. We'll grab our bushing and we'll just kind of get it started a little bit. And we'll go ahead and grab our C-clamp here and grab this piece here. This is the piece that's going to go here. All right, now that we got the bushing pressed in, I'm gonna go one step further, and I'm actually going to be removing the slapper bar, and I'm gonna be removing one more spring. I'm gonna be removing not this one, but the one right in the middle. So I'm gonna be removing this spring right here because I want to drop the truck a little bit lower. So I'm gonna be removing the slapper bar, and not this one, but this one right here. So that's the one we're going to be removing out. So all we got to do is unbolt the leaf spring pack. My scripts. There we go. That should hold. Toasty.
Okay, so we need to remove the lower slapper bar. Don't need this. And I'm gonna be removing not this one, but this one right here in the middle. Because these two are gonna be together, and then this one's separate, and this one is separate. But this one is the middle one, so that's the one we're gonna be taking out. Let's go ahead and just flip this over. And just twist this sideways. And we need to get this one out, so need to either pull it towards me or slide it out. We gotta pull this pad out the way. Let's get a screwdriver. Just pop this pad in there. All right. And now we can just slide this towards us. Here it comes. And there goes that. Put these back together. Line the holes up. And we're good. Grab our little cover here. Goes like this. Do that one, flip it over. See how there's not any threads there, so we'll need to find some washers that are about as wide as this one. I'm gonna get a new nut because this one's it's kind of messed up already. Alright, so I'm actually going to use a new bolt and nut because the other one was too far gone and I didn't want to use it and risk it just being messed up, so I'm just going to replace it with a new one. So the way this goes is, notice this is how you're going to know whether you're a passenger or driver. The CalTrac logo should be facing out towards the outside of the truck. So this is the driver's side, so we'll take it over to the driver's side and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about and take our pin. What are you doing? You're fixing your fishing pole with a wrench? What's wrong with it?
Stuck. Look. Oh, there it does.
Fixed it. Alright, one more thing that I'm gonna do before I go ahead and put the CalTrac and the leaf spring back in is I'm going to remove my bump stop because I was already pretty close to hitting the bump stop, and now that I lowered the truck even more by removing the leaf spring, is I'm going to remove this because then my axle will definitely be resting on the bump stop. So I'm just going to remove it and I'm going to buy a smaller bump stop eventually, but right now I'm just going to unbolt it and give me a little bit more clearance here to the frame. And yes, in order to remove the bracket, you also need to remove the bump stop as well. So you need to go ahead and install the CalTrac assembly onto the leaf spring, and to do so, all we're going to do is you're basically going to put this in like this, and it just slides on like so, and we'll slide the pin through here. But first, before we put the pin in, we need to lube this up with grease so that way it doesn't rattle inside here and it doesn't bind up as well. So we need to do that. Let's grab our bushing here. Just lube this up. is put our new U-bolt on here, and then we can put the lower bracket on as well. This bracket actually just sits on top of the leaf spring like this, and then the new U-bolt will slide over. Slide on. I'm just gonna tighten these all the way evenly to the top, and once we get to the top, we need to torque these down to 100 foot-pounds. Alright, once you get both sides on, guys, this is the most important part of the whole thing, is we need to go ahead and load the suspension. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to raise the truck up as high until it just starts coming off the jack stands. That way I know the suspension is fully loaded. So now what we need to do is, before we install the lower bar, is we need to remove this joint off the back. And we need to go ahead and grease the threads on this hind joint and right here before we go ahead and screw that bar in, so that way we can adjust it easily when we need to and there's no binding. Let's grease the joints here. Screw on this side all the way on to the back. Go ahead and screw this side on. Oh, super. So once you get the bar all the way on, the instructions say that they want you to have a little bit of a gap here. So if we turn this way, I can feel this going down. So it's adding tension to the top. We need to go ahead, raise it up the other way. And so that's where we want it. A little bit of a gap there on top. Now we can go ahead and install the other side. All right, once we get our adjustments correct on the bars, we can go ahead and tighten up these nuts. We're going ahead and snug down our jam nuts on both sides. Once we got our settings, got a little bit of gap here. We're good on both sides. All we gotta do now is put the wheels back on and lower the truck. Alright, so the truck actually looks lowered. The stance is perfect. I mean, it's perfect. Man, it looks even. Now, let's go see if this works. Alright guys, we just made a little test hit, and man, the CalTracs definitely worked. The adjustment is perfect right where it's at. As you can tell guys, by removing 2 leaves out of the back, it definitely made the truck level now. It's perfect actually. There's no more rake, there's no more the back higher than the front. It's actually sitting just perfect, just the way I want it. It looks really good like that. Look at that. It actually looks even better now with the right stance, and it's sitting nice and level. But yeah, the CalTracs are perfect. They're dialed in. Don't have to mess with them more. The jam nuts are nice and tight. I'm just gonna go back, make sure that everything is still secure and tight. I did double check everything before I left, just to make sure I didn't leave anything loose. But you always want to make sure, after a couple of little driving around, you want to make sure stuff does come loose. So you want to make sure that it's nice and tight. But man, that worked perfect. Alright guys, so definitely wanted to do a little bit more testing and adjusting on the bars out there, but you know, the area that I live in, it's not the greatest and the cops are not the friendliest.
So I definitely didn't want to get in trouble and have people come after me. So I definitely wanted to just make sure that that the axle wrap and the wheel hop was gone and eliminated, and it definitely was. So I didn't have to adjust it. I just left it where it was. But maybe one day I'll take the truck to the track and make sure that and see how well these bars actually work. But until then, guys, please hit that like button if you found this video helpful. Please subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.